What's happening, everyone?
What's up?
Welcome back to another episode of Chats with Corey and Kurtis.
Number 2, episode 2.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining. If you are joining, what's up?
Yeah, thank you very much for coming and listening. Man, how's your week been?
My week was really good, man. I was a little bit run down. I don't know why. My brother had bronchitis, and I'm living with him at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think maybe because we did that retaining wall, if people remember from last week, I did a retaining wall. I helped him on Tuesday do a little bit more, because we didn't get it finished. And then he went back on Wednesday and just completed it all. He was super relieved, which was good. So that was cool. But then on Wednesday I had the day off work. I was a bit run down.
Yeah.
I was a little bit, I don't know, just like snotty and just like, you know, that weak muscles. You know, when you're a bit like fluey and feverish.
Because like the seasons are kind of topsy-turvy right now, aren't they? Like,
right.
We've had hot weather and now it's back to pretty cold. We're wearing jumpers and stuff. Yeah.
We're wearing jumpers. Yeah, weird. Because like 2 days ago I was wearing a singlet. Yeah. Actually, last week I was sunbaking.
Yeah, that's
and I don't sunbake, man. I get burnt.
Yeah,
literally, I spent 20 minutes out on my front, on my back, sunbaking. So other than that, it's been pretty productive. So I had the Wednesday off, which was handy. I needed it. And then the AFL fixture came out. So I'm keen on that. I'll duck into that.
Yeah,
but how was your week, bro?
Yeah, I would say, it was pretty average. It got better by the end of the week. Yeah.
Okay, how so?
Yeah.
Please explain.
Yeah, man. I also had to take like time off work. Yeah, I took 2 days off at the start of the week, and then I did a couple half days at the end of the week. I've been stressing a bit about going to my brother's wedding and making sure that I've got enough cash and stuff. And so a lot of things have been weighing on my mind, and one of the biggest things was making sure the house was clean. Okay. This house that I'm living in, so that I can get people to live here as well and help pay the rent.
Get people to move in.
Yeah, to get people to move in. Yeah. Okay. So I think later in the week I got most of the house cleaned, and so now my mind's a little bit better.
Dude, clean house, clean mind.
Yeah, something like that.
I think we were talking recently, you know, my brother showed me this video actually. It's like, make your bed in the morning, and then that's your first task of the day already completed, right? And then if you have a good day, you come home to your bed being made, and that's even better. You have a shit day, you come home, and you're, you know, even if it's a bad day, you come home and your bed's made. You're like, oh, at least I get to come home to a clean, fresh bed. Yeah. It's like a guy in the Navy SEAL team.
Oh, okay.
Who said that? I don't know his name, but my brother showed me that, and yeah, really, like, to be honest, I still haven't made my bed, but but it was really good. It was really good advice. Really, really good advice. Okay. So, anything you want to speak about, like why you had it off? So, would you class it as a mental health day?
Yeah. So, yeah, because it was a lot weighing on my mind, like financially, but my mind tends to think very broadly.
Okay.
Like, I think about a big picture all the time.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's very hard for me to let go of concerns around the world, even locally, like relationships with people who are close to me. Yeah. Okay. So it's difficult. Yeah. I mean, we're fine, but yeah, admittedly, there's things that I think about. Like, and it's not only with you, not exclusive to you or because of you.
I would hope it's not about me.
Yeah. But it's everybody, and so it's like a constant thing that I've rolled over in my mind. Yeah, I don't know whether it would be classed as like depression or anxiety, but it's certainly something which is abnormal to a healthy mind. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely not anxiety. It'd be more like depression if it was anything. That
makes complete sense, man. What is it? 1 in 3 people have depression in this world.
Yeah, and from my experience with the feelings that I've had, and I'd say recently they've been quite mild, in the past they've been worse. Okay. Man, it sucks. 1 in 3 people, man, that's way too many people.
That's way too many people. Yeah. If that's 7 billion people in the world, that's 2.5 billion people have this issue. As if you don't walk down the street And you can notice it in people's demeanor, or even if you talk to 100 people out of the day, it's 30 people, 33.3 people, or whatever it is. I mean, you're not doing the math, but that's a lot of people.
Yeah, and you might have said it before, like you ask people how their week's going, and they're like, or what have you been up to, and like, yeah, not much. Like someone who says not much is probably some person who's
going through some stuff.
Yeah, who aren't happy, or like they're not filled with vigor or really enjoying what they're doing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I can't say this is normal, but it's kind of like the norm though.
Yep. Make sure we're all good. Yeah.
Okay.
You think it's very common? Yeah.
It's very common. It's definitely not normal, and we would love everyone to be super excited all the time and super happy, and but there's so many varying factors with your job, with relationships, with things in the world, right? Like random things that probably don't even need to be there. Do you know what I mean? Like random hate. The internet is probably a big cause of just people behind the behind the keyboard kind of esque,
Yeah, keyboard warriors.
That's the word. I couldn't think of it. Keyboard warriors. I feel like we were talking just before. It's like you can't listen to everyone. You know what I mean? You can't cater to everyone, and you can't listen to everyone. So you can only control what you can control. You know what I mean? So with the problems in the world, etc. It's like how maybe you right now in this particular second can't help the people in Africa, everyone, but maybe one day you can. Do you know what I mean? So you can't control it right now, but maybe later you can. I don't know. That's what I try and help myself. Like I'm trying to stay a bit naive to some things, because if I do, then I'm okay about it. But I'd still like to delve in and spout my opinion off. Yeah. Because I'm concerned about everything, and I wish I could help everyone and everything, and we could change the world in a day. And I reckon one man can change the world, which it could be you or me, man. It could be both of us. Who knows? But right at the moment, I can't control much other than my life. Yeah. I got stopped at Southern Cross the other day trying to help out World Vision. I think it was not World Vision. It was UNICEF or something.
Okay, yeah, I think I've seen them there recently. On the corner or something.
On Southern, yeah?
Yeah, at Southern Cross Station. Yeah.
I'm just talking in tongues, but...
Yeah.
So like I got stopped, and he's like, hey man, can you give, even $1 to this people, and $1 here and $1 there? I'm like, man, I'm not seeing where that money's going, for one. And I'm like, man, I'm just trying to live myself, dude. Like I feel like that's everyone. So, but I'm not trying to be selfish at all. And if I had all the money in the world, man, I'd just give it away. And if we were all going to be okay. So that I'm just trying to like maybe get inside your head right now, and just let you know that we can't control everything. So
yeah, I think. I reckon if I spoke to you for too long, that I'd be able to bring you down as well.
Not at all, bro. I'm up here. I'm in the clouds.
Yeah. Like that's what I feel like the effect of my thoughts have on people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love you. I'm right here.
Yeah. Cool. Well, like it's a major thing is veganism.
Yeah. And so you're a vegan?
Yeah. That's something I haven't really spoken about in the podcast yet.
We're just jumping all over the place at the moment, but I'm loving it. I'll go where we go.
So things related to veganism, they weigh my mind because I consider it a moral concern. Okay. And I know it's something that's going to continue, and it's something that I can't stop right now, and I can ignore it, but it's still going to happen. So I won't speak too deeply about that, but
in a later episode.
We'll speak more about like our health and our diets and things in another episode. And maybe our stances on veganism and
the
those
carnivore
things.
Diet or just whatever. More than happy to get into that.
But it's one of the things that I find very difficult to let go.
Okay. Right at the moment, so you had to. Just for that, you took a couple of days off at the start of the week. How are you feeling right now? Are you feeling good? Like good sleep?
Well, I mean, now that like something is checked off on my list.
Cleaning the joint?
Yeah, almost completed, yeah. that it feels a bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the only thing that's changed. Yeah, which is interesting. That one thing can have a big effect on your mood.
Dude, yeah. I know when I have a terrible, like my room is trashed. And, you know, because it just happens every 3 or 4 days. It just clothes end up everywhere, this and that. If you're not on top of it all the time, and it's hard to be, and it's discipline. I think it's consistency, and I'm trying to get. And me personally, I'm trying to get there every day. It's not an everyday thing, but it's a few times a week kind of thing. Getting better and just getting better. It's a slow progress, but I know when my room's cluttered or my car's cluttered. It's definitely my brain's cluttered.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So, dude, even cleaning the place, even cleaning your house it's a little bit of a load off, right?
Yeah. Like, what'd you say? Clean house, clean mind. Yeah. It's something like that. And yeah, my room, admittedly, right now is a little bit messy. Like, it's not what I want it to be.
Yeah.
So I think whenever something doesn't align with your values, it's always going to be a burden. It's always going to be in the back of your mind. Yeah. So you have to fix things like that in order to help your mind become clearer.
Okay.
That's where I find myself now, anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So what you were speaking about the AFL fixtures?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I just wanted to, if I can jump on my phone for 2 seconds and read it out quickly, because we did have a comment last week, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, from the chimp, was it?
From the chimp. What's up, chimpy?
Yeah. Thanks for watching, man.
Thanks for watching. Peace and love, man. Appreciate it. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to grab up the fixtures, AFL. Probably not everyone's into this, but I'm passionate about my footy. And the fixtures came out for round 1 2019.
Okay.
And if I can read them out.
Go for it, yeah.
Thursday night, you got the classic Carlton-Richmond at the MCG. So Richmond were the reigning premiers of last year. They obviously lost. They got kicked out in the prelims by Collingwood, actually.
Okay.
I was on the Collingwood bandwagon of late. I'm a Dogs fan, Western Bulldogs fan.
But they were out earlier or something.
We were out around round 3.
Oh, okay.
No, we weren't out round 3 because there's 23 rounds, but we were out round 12 even, man. Like, you can kind of just see the direction we're going. We weren't playing good footy. Played a couple good games, definitely. And close games. The next one, so Carlton-Richmond, if I was to tip, man, you'd have to go Richmond, because Carlton have kind of been crappy all year. All year, for a decade.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you've got, on the Friday night, you've got Collingwood and Geelong. That'll be a toughie. Collingwood made the premiership, only lost by 5 points. Dude, they had a stellar year. It was really good. So, like I said, I was on the bandwagon with my mate Sammy. And so I'd back Collingwood in that game. That's at the G as well, at the MCG. On the Saturday, Melbourne, Port Adelaide. I'd back Melbourne. Adelaide, Hawthorn. I'd go Adelaide. Probably Adelaide, to be honest. Then Western Bulldogs, Sydney. Can't the Dogs. Obviously.
Who's got to win out of Bulldogs in Sydney?
I never tip against the Dogs.
Oh, okay. So
I don't care for crap.
Win. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a biased, diehard Dogs fan.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
But it's in Sydney, I think. So
probably won't get to watch that one.
Probably either won't get to watch. I'll probably get to watch it, but we'll probably lose.
Right.
Going off of last year's way we played.
Yeah.
And then we got Brisbane, West Coast. West Coast obviously won the grand final, so that's an easy win. And Brisbane aren't that great, but they've had a few ins this year with I don't know. I'm gonna just delete what I just said.
Yeah.
And then on the Sunday, St Kilda, Gold Coast. You'd have to go St Kilda. We're gonna go Greater Western Sydney over Essendon.
Wait, Gold Coast. They have a team.
Yeah.
Is that new?
That's 6 years new.
Oh, okay.
So 6 years new, 2010, I think. 2010 and then 2012 was GWS, if I'm not mistaken, if anyone...
Oh, they're both new?
They're both new, yeah. So GWS are Greater Western Sydney, and they came in... I'm pretty sure it was 2012 and 2010 was Gold Coast. I normally know my footy history.
Okay, so we got Brisbane Lions and Gold Coast... Suns,
yeah.
Okay.
So they have this... they have an orange... It's orange with a yellow GC on it.
Okay.
GC?
probably.
Suns.
Yeah.
Man, why my brain's...
GCS.
No, it's
No.
not.
Okay.
I don't know. We could get it up, but...
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
That's apologies.
Okay, yep.
Okay, but no, yeah, so Queensland have...
Like 2 teams.
2 teams,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah.
So, and then there's, what, 2 Sydney teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, St Kilda, Gold Coast. I'd back St Kilda. Greater Western Sydney and Essendon. So Dylan Shield, one of the great players for Greater Western Sydney, has moved to Essendon. So that'll be his first game again, against his old club.
Mm-hmm.
So they always rough him up. It'll be that'll be a sick game, I reckon. And then Fremantle North, and I'd go North Melbourne in the way that Fremantle play.
All right.
But that's that. I'm glad I got that out of the way.
Yeah. That's the fixtures.
We can definitely dude. I'm passionate about my footy, and
when the season starts, we can
the season just ended, so I didn't. So yeah, there's no real, but the round 1 and any footy news updates, I'll just chuck in the potty if anyone wants to listen and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of our viewers at the moment are into footy.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
Fun.
I hope some of my friends, your friends, I hope they like footy. And if I can get more people into footy, man.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Do it. More people to go to the game with, have fun with, have a beer with.
Yeah. Yeah. Sweet.
That was it.
All right. Well, we probably should get into our topics that
we've been chatting.
Also, yeah, we probably should give you a warning if we haven't actually already accidentally. We're probably going to swear a little bit in this show. So if kids are watching, maybe stop them from watching, or maybe warn them.
Yeah, or
take care. It may happen.
Yeah, as a warning. I think this topic can get people amped. And by amped, I mean amplified. So
yeah. Okay, so the first thing we're going to speak about is something that Pauline Hanson has caused an uproar in the news recently. She made a speech to the Parliament saying it's okay to be white. And so what we'd like to speak about this week is it okay to be white? That's a question we'll like to speak about. We've got a little clip here that we'll be able to show you.
Check it out.
So this is Pauline's little speech here that she had in Parliament.
I ask the General Business Notice of Motion number 1092 standing my name for today relating to anti-white racism be taken as a formal. Anyone who pays attention to the news or spends any time on social media has to acknowledge that there has been a rise in anti-white racism and a rise in attacks on the very ideals of Western civilisation. I would also hope the Senate does the right thing and acknowledges it is indeed okay to be white. Such a simple sentence should go without saying, but I suspect many members in this place would struggle to say it. People have a right to be proud of their cultural background, whether they are black, white or brindle. If we cannot agree on this, I think it's safe to say any white racism is well and truly rife in our society.
Oh, wow. 17.
The President, I think needs to make a short statement.
Is the private leaders granted for 1 minute?
Thank you.
It's only a short video.
Yeah, that's it. I think Darren Hinch can piss off.
Former colleague Kevin Anning are now locked in a race to see who can be the biggest, the loudest.
Looks like Rolf Harris.
In their contest to see who can get the bottom of the sewer first.
Well, it's not just okay to be white in Australia, it's actually a ticket to winning the lotto. It's a ticket to winning the lotto. Just look around this chamber, see how many faces you see that aren't white. Look, the reality is this "it's okay to be white" slogan has got a long history in the white supremacist movement, where both these clowns get most of their material from. You know what it's not okay to be in this country? It's not okay to be Aboriginal because you're more likely to die younger, to be locked up. It's not okay to be an African person because you're more likely to experience racism.
Order. There being 28 ayes and 31 noes, the matter is resolved in the negative.
So
they voted against
there
what
we go. Oops.
Pauline said. Oh.
Yeah.
Hello, she's hot.
That's Carly Kloss. Yeah, she's a YouTuber and a model. Yeah.
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
definite model.
All right.
Just
Yeah. So, what do we think about that? Her proposal to the Parliament saying it's okay to be white and trying to get people to agree with her in the Senate. What do you think? How do you feel about people saying, is it okay to be white? Or with that connotation or with that message, it's kind of saying it's okay to be proud of being white. Yeah. What do you think?
I definitely think that of course it's okay to be white. It's okay to be anything. Like she said in the thing, it's okay to be white, it's okay to be black, I think she said, and it's okay to be, what did you say, brindle?
Brindle, yeah, I don't even know what brindle is. I think brown colour, maybe even like a caramel
like
colour.
An Indian or an Aboriginal or something, maybe.
Oh, I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's just the colour.
Oh, okay. It's just like an aqua or something. Yeah, okay, well, it's okay to be Aqua. If you're Aquaman, it's alright. He's about to come out with a movie. It's going to be good. Dude, I don't have an issue, man. I think, because it didn't get passed, right?
I think, no, they didn't pass it. I don't even know what she was exactly proposing.
Exactly, me either. I think it was an anti... Oh, man. What did she say? I don't know. My opinion is it's fine. Like, we're all equal, dude. We're all equal. I think that it shouldn't be an outrage, because I think after that video was put out, Twitter blew up, and it was all over because white privilege.
There is white privilege, yeah, and that's Senator Di Natale, the head of the Green Party here in Australia. He mentioned it's a ticket to the lotto, that you come with some privileges just from being born white. Yeah.
Do you think? What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, it's true. I don't think we can deny that. As we are born, we don't experience any oppression when we're growing up as a kid. We didn't have people sideline us because we were a different colour, or we were different to the majority of the kids at school. Yeah, we didn't speak a different language at home, so we didn't have any of these language difficulties as we were attending school. So we weren't bullied because we couldn't say words properly or something like that. That's a form of privilege there. That we come with this inherent just advantage over kids that come from different backgrounds.
That's a weird one. That's definitely a weird one in my brain, because
so it's not privilege.
Well, I definitely don't feel any different. I'm not privileged.
Right, as in
me personally. Yeah. If we're talking about each person, you know what I mean. I wasn't privileged at all. If anything, I was pretty poor as a kid.
Privilege is in not just in say financial terms, but say social terms rather. Yeah.
Well, we had, dude, to be honest, in my primary school, there wasn't many other races than white when I was going to school.
Mine too, yeah, I came from the country.
Yeah. There wasn't many other ethnicities in my primary school, and it only really, I think it was year 9 when I think it was 3,000 Sudanese kids, not exactly, but something. I remember they brought 3,000 Sudanese people into Melton, where I'm from.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Yep.
And I met, instantly I had a friend. His name was Meringue. He was a legend, tall. He was a gun soccer player. Dude, if we got white privilege, man, people have other privileges. There's black privilege, because he played soccer a lot better than I could. He was taller than I was.
Okay, you mean that?
Fitter than I was.
Okay, so these are privileges based on things that he can't control either.
Exactly. I don't think there's I don't understand why people treat, if people are going to treat everyone from every other ethnicity, they're like dickheads, and treat them poorly. Then they shouldn't, you shouldn't listen to them. They really shouldn't exist. You know what I mean? The whole racism thing shouldn't really exist. For me, I don't see, I wasn't brought up that way. I was brought up to appreciate everyone. And I know I was never brought up with different privileges. We were best mates. Yeah. I brought him into our soccer team. I brought him into everyone. I have a good friend who's half Filipino, half Australian. He was never, from year 7, he was loved because he's a legend. You know what I mean? He's a legend. So
yeah, I think kids don't have racism. It's not an innate thing. It's something that we're taught.
I think it's something. Yeah, if that's it's something that we're taught. But I mean, if you've watched anything like that Sacha Baron Cohen show, have you seen that?
Which one? The recent one?
The recent, what was it? I can't remember what it was called.
Something America.
Yeah, where he like outed all the Americans. And
and got them to say things.
Say stupid things, all the politicians and stuff. Like he. In one of them, he goes, we're going to build I think he was in Texas, and he's like, we're going to build a mosque. And then you see, he dressed up.
Everybody hated that.
Everyone hated Why?
Like, people were like yelling, this was in like a little community like meeting.
Or something. And he's like, we're going to build a mosque. We're going to put, he's like, how would you like $300 million to be injected into your city or whatever?
And people were like, give us money.
And then he goes, all right, we're going to build a mosque.
Yeah.
And then they're like, literally, we don't want him here. Fuck them. Blah blah blah. Like all this, and and it was good. See, that was good to show that. So those people, that in particular group of people, sadly, that's a widespread thing, isn't it? Like that is a big people's way of thinking, which I don't understand it. For one, I just don't. It just wasn't brought up that way. I was brought up to appreciate everyone and the same. When I brought like when my mate Gordon come back to my house and he was a half Filipino guy, legend by the way. What's up, man? If he's watching, my mum, they just got along. They clicked and that's fine. It's fine. When Meringue come over. He was Sudanese and black, and he's a legend. What's up, man? If you're watching, my mum just welcomed him in. Do you know what I mean? And I grew up like that. I grew up so privilege. Any privilege to me, like I don't have his genetics. Do you know what I mean? Like are they genetically privileged? So is that like a thing
for certain things? Yeah, like you've mentioned soccer. Maybe he's better at playing soccer because of certain things.
He could dunk the ball by standing there. Like probably tippy toes, a little jump. He can dunk the ball. I touched the rim.
Okay, yeah. Would we call that privilege? Because that's not exclusive to a certain race. Like you can have some person who isn't from Sudan who is really tall.
Oh, that's very true.
Like for example, we got Yao Ming. I think
is he Chinese?
Chinese guy. He's like gigantic.
He's gigantic.
Yeah, plays in the NBA.
But then other Chinese people are probably really small. Like that's the stereotype.
Yeah,
right?
He's an outlier. Yeah, I don't know whether that's what is normally referred to when we talk about privilege as far as like race is concerned.
Explain a little bit more then. So maybe I'm a little bit behind the curve because I just don't see it. Do you know what I mean? So explain.
So Pauline's proposal here saying it's okay to be white, as in.
So I went off on a tangent there.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like maybe there's things which are mixed up in maybe being privileged and not privileged in certain areas, but privilege as in something that in society you will have just an advantage over somebody just because of the color of your skin, not because of genetics as in your height or your ability in sport or something like that.
So you think we're like white people are all in parliament because
that was an example. That was an example,
but it's not because they haven't worked hard. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure a black person can work hard and work their way up there. Like America had a black president. Yeah. He was at the top of the game. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He was at the top of the game. He was black.
Yeah, and you must consider that he's the only black president.
That's true, but then we have to consider like women as well. There hasn't been, you know
that's
what I mean?
Correct. Yeah, we've only recently had one prime minister in Australia that was a woman.
Yeah, Gillard. So then that's like a sexist issue as well.
So would we not call that privilege? So we got a white male privilege because all of the historical American presidents have been white and male.
Have they not worked for it though?
Yes, but they've also all been white and male.
But is that a privilege? Why would that be a privilege?
Well, because they have advantages in society, as in they're not treated as something which is, well, historically in America, they're not treated as something which is less than human.
So, do you think then, I'm finding that hard because if a black person became president, which he did, right? in '08, Barack Obama, if before that they tried to, like, there was a lot of racism, like there has been, and they were repressed 100%. Not by me.
No, that's right. Yeah, it's not us here who are repressing anybody. We must make that clear.
Make that entirely clear.
Yeah.
Not even my parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Probably not even their parents.
Yeah.
It was further back, like way further back.
Yeah.
Privilege. I don't. I'm having trouble with this because it's just the way it's worked. I guess it's not. Is it privilege because because if a black person come in '08, what's stopping him in '04? If he had a run, if a black person had a run, what's stopping him in 2000? What's stopping him in 1996, in 1992? You know,
well, the civil rights movement only happened in like the 1960s, right? With Martin Luther King pushing for people's right to attend school, with a mixed school, as in not just a white-only school. Like we could have mixed races in America. Yeah. So that was a thing that isn't too far in history. Yeah, that's really. And so that would have, if people are being segregated in school, there's no way that there's going to be a black president at that point in time. So we must think that these kind of opinions still linger around in society, even though maybe that there was a movement for segregation to be dissolved, right? Yeah, and so in Australia also we had the stolen generation, where the government decided that it was beneficial to take away the children of some Aboriginal families because it would be better for them that if they were raised using the white ideals or the white thought processes, that it would give them an advantage in society. If they're raised with white methods, following the traditions of white people, Is that that'd be a race thing then, wouldn't it? Yeah. We're taking Aboriginals and raising them the way that I was, not raising them the way their parents. So with their traditional methods. Yeah, I don't know how privileged it is. Well, as Di Natale mentioned, you're more likely to be locked up. You're more likely to experience abuse and assault, verbal abuse. Yeah, that is a privilege. If you're not experiencing these things, if you're not being subject to these things just because of the color of your skin, then that is an innate advantage that someone has. How often is this happening though? Like if you do the wrong thing, you're going to get punished for the thing. If a white person, if just from the way I look at it, if you're going to murder someone and you're white, if you're going to murder someone and you're black, you get the same sentence. It's not the case though. No, it's definitely not the case. Yeah. So that's a privilege there because of your race. Is it a privilege or is it just I don't know if that's even should be the word for it. Okay. Because it's something that you're lucky to do that, but it's not right. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean if Jimmy's a dickhead treating people shit, and then people are like, oh, that's just Jimmy. No, Jimmy needs to change. Jimmy needs to work on himself, and Jimmy needs to do the right things to make sure he doesn't treat people bad. Do you know what I mean? It's like we need to change the thought. Yeah, definitely we need to change our thought process. The privilege would mean, are you going to be treated differently by the law because of the colour of your skin, or by society? That's what's being meant by privilege. All right. In these then that happens, but I don't think that. Yeah. Well, me personally, I don't think that should be happening. And if that's the word, if that's the meaning of privilege, that's what people are referring to in this circumstance. Yeah. Yeah. Well, then I guess that privilege is probably. It's probably a privilege, but it's it's wrong. Yeah. It's wrong. We would all consider it, If we're all considering it a wrong thing. Yeah. But I think what we need to acknowledge is that it is something that occurs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Also, with her, she's saying something about anti-white racism, right? As in it's not okay to be white. Yeah. But it's definitely okay to be you must be. Yeah. I would agree. Yeah. Obviously, I'm white. You're white. Yeah. I don't think that we should be responsible for the historical actions of someone who happens to share our skin color.
Exactly.
Yeah. We might have mentioned this in another conversation that we've had in the past. That, say, for example, white people colonizing Australia. I don't know whether we should feel any responsibility for that occurring and for the genocide of the Aboriginal people that were here. I don't agree with it occurring. I'm not happy that it occurred. I also don't feel that I am responsible, or even my parents, people that I know today, I don't feel like they are responsible. In fact, I know they're not, because they came over after Australia was colonized. My family did. But I think there is this sort of a movement where you can't be okay with being happy with your family because they are white. I think that is a bit of a movement.
That's horseshit, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with it. No, that's right.
Because she's saying it's not okay to be white. Like, for me personally, if someone is to call me racist terms, which I don't know, skip was like a racist term to white people. Cracker is like a white racist. But me personally, I don't. It doesn't affect me.
No, I'm not too worried about it, because I know in the past there have been a lot of other names that have been blurted out to other races, which are offensive, and I don't want to propagate or further that verbal abuse. So if somebody wants to call me a certain name, I'm not gonna like retaliate or anything.
But you're not like offended by. You wouldn't be offended by someone calling you a racist name, because
I understand that it's historically been something that maybe
white people have done to other cultures. That's not why. That's not even why I wouldn't get offended. It's a word. It's the word. Skip, like cracker. Yeah. Like, but if it's meant to be on the other foot, like if you're looking, and you say obviously the other one. We all know the other one. I don't want to say it. No. See, why should I even be afraid to say it? Do you know what I mean? Like, again, it's just a word. Do you know what I mean?
We can be afraid to say it because we may face backlash for saying it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sensitive. Yeah, it's a tough one.
But on the other side, it still is racism, isn't it? If anyone from another race says to us, "You're a cracker," it is the exact same as saying the other word. Yeah, I'm not going to say it, but it's the same. But me personally, I don't get offended, and it's not because my ancestors years and years and years ago, hundreds, hundreds, not even 10, not even 20. How many? Hundreds of years ago. Yeah. Did some wrong things. Yeah, dude, I don't agree with that. But
it's still not right. You're right. Yeah, I don't think it's I don't think cracker should be as prolific as it is. Yeah.
I definitely, well,
because it is still a racist term.
It's still racist, and I think that's what Pauline as well was trying to get across.
Yeah, so Pauline's a mixed bag. Right, I agree with.
Ranga's cop it a lot, right? Ranga's cop it a lot. That's not a race.
No,
I'm gonna ring a beard. Like
it's maybe a method that humans use to separate a group, to pick on a group in order to make themselves feel stronger or more solidified, saying like, look at us, we're all similar, but look at that person over there. Now we can band together and we can be a strong group and go against this other group. Yeah, it's just something that we've been doing for a long time. Yeah, and it's not even about race. It's just about maybe even visible differences. Maybe there's like tall people and short people. Like we would say, "Oh, look at this short guy." Like like that's
we do. I do it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But never in like a derogatory way.
No. But it's just a method that humans use. Yeah. As a way of maybe banding together. Yeah. But it's something we must acknowledge that it's common. We should try and like stop it occurring.
I think we're at an agreement with that this shouldn't exist. One bit in Parliament, like I think that because that Twitter blew up and then they threw out the bill or whatever, and then like there's outrage saying that there's no racism to white people because we're privileged, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's still racism, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so there's racism to everyone. It doesn't matter what colour you are. It's just whether you take it with a grain of salt or not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like back in the day, like we were talking last week, how the Italians came here and the Greeks and that generation came here and worked their ass off. They got called wogs. And see, wog isn't bad. It is, but it's not as bad as other words, right?
Right.
So, and they took it with the grain of salt, and they worked hard. They didn't rise up and oppress, and because I feel like they would have given it back they gave it back, like, from the stories that I've heard from older, I guess, Italians, and like my dad and whoever else. It's like they went back and forth with that shit. That it was just it was banter back then.
Okay. Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? Like, this might be completely out of context, but I feel like it's the same thing. I feel like it should be, because maybe they come over here, and I guess in the past they were considered maybe not, like, see, that's not even a thing. That's not even a thing. Nobody fucking talks about that.
What's that?
Like, about, like, the Italians and
immigrants, yeah.
Immigrants back then, like I don't know, when was it? Like the 30s, 40s, 50s?
Yeah, quite early. Yeah. Quite
early. Like, but they're different races. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's not talked about.
Not anymore. No. It's fading away.
Yeah, but I don't even think that's a bad thing. No one gets offended at that.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? But everyone gets offended if you're.
There's a massive YouTube channel.
Black race, etc. Whatever. What I was going to say.
Super Wog.
Yeah. He's hilarious. He's hilarious.
I think if he's using that name, he's must be okay with people calling the name, or at least using the name. Yeah. So maybe it's becoming less offensive, perhaps. Yeah. I don't go around calling people certain names that have historically had problems. That word, for the risk of offending someone.
Exactly, because like, and I wouldn't do it. I'm only just saying it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not. It's not even like. Yeah. You couldn't even go at me for that, because that's just. That's not even a go.
No,
do you know what I mean? I'm not even having a go. It's just
sentiment behind it. Yeah.
Not at all. It's a word, to be honest. It's a 3-letter word. But I guess if it comes to affect you more for saying that, I guess that's where it's been a thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's been more of a thing in probably American culture.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, we've had some issues here, and I won't deny that there's still issues in Australia. Yeah, but America has their own problems, and they're still going on as well. Yeah, like as we mentioned, there's only been one black president, whereas there's been a lot of African Americans for a long period of time.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, The Rock for president 2020, right?
Yeah, for me, Schwarzenegger.
No, I'll go The Rock, because he's half American, half Samoan. Yeah. So he's olive.
Yeah.
That's probably another color, right? That's not a. Would you class him as a black man? Or would you class him as like a white man? He's in the middle, like a Logic. You know Logic, the rapper.
Yeah.
He's half and half, but he can say the N-word.
Yeah.
And he can also say the crackers and the white. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's a weird thing.
It's a very weird.
Yeah, I wish we could just throw it all away. Like, all these words and names, just like no longer. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like. Yeah, throw it away.
Yeah.
Throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
And everyone get along.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what colour you are. Like, it matters who you are. And if you are kind and you are nice and you are respectful and you want to help others, and if you have more than you need and you keep it to yourself, you're a greedy asshole. But if you have more than you need and you help other people, you're an absolute good person, and that's who you should be. That person. For me, this is just my view, man. That's who you should be.
Yeah,
and that's who I try and be a lot of the time. Sometimes I have to be selfish and keep something for myself, because I'm not in a position where I have X amount of dollars, endless amount of money, because money's a big thing in this world. I wish money didn't exist.
Yeah, maybe that's something we can speak about, like maybe in the future. Like, what alternatives could we have instead of money? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, to determine value. Yeah, I agree. I think that a person shouldn't be responsible for the actions of others. Yeah. And so yeah, you should be judged by what you do as an individual. Yeah, and society shouldn't punish you for something that's happened historically, whether you're any color, from any background. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. That's an old way of thinking, like a really old.
It has no place.
It has no place in this society, and like, I found it. This sounds funny, like, because she was on, Pauline was on the Today Show, and they were calling her like a neo-Nazi, threats of a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, I don't think she is. I think she may be partially misunderstood, but it's tough.
Yeah, well, well, I don't see with that. I only found out really what neo-Nazi was last night. I've been throwing it around like it's nothing, but no, it's only because I hear it. I've just been throwing it around. But I found out it's a new-aged Nazi, right? So that's what neo is, apparently, like new age.
Yeah, Neo
that's
Tokyo
correct?
in anime. Yeah.
Say it again.
Neo Tokyo in anime.
Is that like a new Tokyo?
It's like a future Tokyo. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like a new aged Nazi, right? But I think that term's thrown around so loosely on the internet. You're a Nazi. You could throw. You know what? Because you can say whatever you want on the internet. Because you're behind a screen, you don't have to face that person. Say that to the person's face, they might knock you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah. So you can say that. So that term is thrown loosely. Because they're not actual Nazis, because Nazis were in like the Holocaust, and Nazis were putting Jews in gas chambers. Do you know what I mean? And half of them, I could be wrong on this, and this is going out on a limb, but like a lot of Germans like try and, I could be wrong.
Okay.
But just from what I've heard, and I'm more than open to change my mind, that they keep it, like, sweep that under the rug, or like try and.
Certainly not proud of it. Yeah.
Yeah. They're definitely not like proud of it. Maybe that's why, which is fair, because it's again. But you shouldn't be. Germans today shouldn't be oppressed for what their ancestors did.
So recently, we had the Sorry Day many moons ago when Kevin Rudd was our Prime Minister in Australia. Yeah. So he said sorry. For the stolen generation of Aboriginal children. And recently there's been another apology by Scott Morrison, our current Prime Minister. Don't even know anything about him, really. No, not really.
I don't know, he seemed like an idiot.
Yeah.
But they all do.
I think he's just too white, you know?
You can be too white!
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure you can be too white. Unbelievable.
Well, we had another. It was apology to all the children who had been abused by, say, religious institutions. Yeah. So we have a government apologising for actions that have happened in the past. So maybe that's where there is a bit of responsibility, that the government is representing their historical counterparts. Governments that have come previously, they're apologising for the actions of those people. Yeah, I'm a little bit torn on that as well. Say there's a lot of problems in the relationship between South Korea, China and Japan. Say around World War II, there was Japan invaded South Korea and China. Okay. They raped and pillaged a lot.
South Korea did this to them?
Japan did.
Okay, sorry.
Japan came across before World War II started.
Fuck you, Will! Fuck you, Dolphin! Yeah. Sorry, it's a bit of South Park.
Okay. Yeah. And so, like, they did these horrible things. They took women and used them for sex slaves. They killed lots of children, raped a lot of people. Yeah. So these Japanese soldiers did a lot of bad things. And to this day, there's a bit of not unspoken. It's definitely outspoken. There's this problem with the relationship between these countries still, because of the actions of Japanese soldiers in World War II or before World War II. So and their government in Japan still hasn't apologized. However, is the government that's in effect now, are they responsible for the actions of the people historically? I think if an individual, if we are considering, say, I'm not responsible for the actions of my ancestors and the things that they've done towards other people historically, should a government be responsible for those, or should they have to apologise for the actions of something in the past? I don't know. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one as well, but it's very similar.
I think
it's a good analogy.
Yeah,
it's a good analogy, and like I'm saying, like I've been talking about for however long, but like I shouldn't have to apologise for what far ancestors did, and I think I'll stand by that because that's true.
And I don't. I'd be very surprised if someone disagreed with that. I don't think they'd be able to find any connection or any way of making you feel as though you're wrong there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like they should apologise. Sorry, Day might have been like a good idea in theory, you know, because alright, we're sorry for, but it still relays back to why are we apologising. So if they were if you know Japan was just to be like, sorry, you know, China, North Korea, we apologise for what our ancestors did. We're not saying it, but they did the wrong thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and
it's the same thing.
And I think it doesn't fix anything anyway if they apologise. It doesn't undo the actions.
Exactly.
So what can be done? Like, and I know in Australia, people, say Aboriginal people, after hearing the apology, in 2007 or 2008, I can't remember exactly when it was, from Kevin Rudd, but I'm pretty sure that they weren't happy about it anyway. That there was no reconciliation. They didn't say, oh, it's all over now, because the impacts are still here. They're still children who never met their parents or have lost their parents and never going to be reconnected to them. Yeah, and I don't really know what we can do about that.
We can't take it back. You
can't take it back, and we can't really fix it. It's just a shitty thing.
We can educate and move forward from here, right? So the new, instead of, you know, I'm sure you've watched, and I think we bring this up, you know, Louis Theroux doco, I think, The Worst Family in America. Remember that? Yeah,
this must be the people, the Westboro Baptist Church family. Is that correct?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was right. And they, you know, they were outside picketing, saying racist things.
And they had their kids out there as well.
They had their kids, and
saying God hates fags and.
That's right. God hates fags.
Yeah.
It's just funny. It's not funny.
But,
it just made me laugh.
It's a weird thing. It's so weird that it's funny. Yeah.
It's so weird that it's funny, and my brain's dumb, so I laugh at stupid shit like that. But I don't think it's right. 100%. I'll lay that straight. I don't think that's right. So the mum was picketing and had her like 3 and 4 and 5-year-old kids out there, and they were saying the same thing. And then Louis walked up to these kids and was like, "Do you know what you are picketing for? Do you know what you're like saying? Do you even know what you're saying?" And then the kid was like, you know, all like head down and, you know, rubbing his foot like this, and had no idea, had absolutely no idea. But that's the that ideology that the mum is putting onto the kid.
Yeah.
So. I'm using that word correctly, right? Yeah, sweet. So, you're putting that onto your kid. So, that is the wrong way to educate a kid. That's the wrong way. We should say, okay, we're not sorry for it. So, like, it's a bad thing that happened. We can't change it. But what we can change is installing our kids, you know, I don't have a kid, but like installing this generation the right things and the right way to go about everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, we don't say these in particular words because it offends these people. We don't pick it outside and say God hates fags because God, what?
Yeah, nobody knows anyway.
Nobody knows. You don't know that God hates fags, and if God is real, maybe he's a fag. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a very complicated topic, but
okay, but what
it's all assumptions.
It's all assumptions. But what I'm getting at is, we should educate our kids into doing the right things and trying our hardest to be good people and respect everyone. That's number one, surely. Respect every single person.
Yeah, like
treat people. Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, we've had a conversation previously. I don't know if we've shared it publicly on this podcast yet, but yeah. So the golden rule, which is kind of present in most modern religions, most thought constructs, is treat others how you want to be treated yourself. Yeah.
I learned that in prep. Which is 5.
Which is great. And maybe historically, maybe that was something that wasn't passed down to people.
Exactly.
They're not as clear as that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was kind of said, but then there was also this message of these people are different, so treat them differently. Yeah.
That's exactly, but that's wrong. That's terrible. That's wrong.
That's kind of, we need to start by treating others how you want to be treated. Yeah, and then we'll work out from there how we should go about things.
Exactly. And when I have a kid, if I have a kid who knows, I will be sitting them down and letting them know that, like, that's the golden rule. Whether it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter whether you, like, I don't want my kid to even be a part of this shit. Hopefully by the time that I have a kid, this is gone. This is gone. This is wiped out, and everyone just chill out. You know, have a beer and chill the fuck out. What's Richard Pryor say? Have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Okay, have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. For real. That's for real, man. But treat people how you want to be treated. I reckon that's rule number one. You don't want to be treated. You don't want to say, like, don't say terrible words to people to offend them, and they won't do it to you. You know what I mean? I don't know how to stop. Like, I mean, I'm just one man, and I don't know how to stop any of this. But like
we can use our platform that we have here to share the message. That's something that we can do.
Right? That's something
share
that we can
a thought and hope it spreads.
And we have difference of opinions, man. We're like,
we will.
Completely different dudes, right? Different backgrounds, different people, different upbringings, and so we're gonna have different views on these things. But I reckon we can come to one, you know, that general consensus of this shouldn't even be a thing. You know.
All right. How long have we been speaking for? 59 minutes. Yeah, okay. There was something else that happened recently as well, on the vein of white supremacy. Now, this is maybe something that's really difficult to cover shortly. We'll try and skip over some of the details because it could take quite a while to go into. So there's an Australian boxer, two Australian boxers rather. Is it Matthew Horn?
Jeff Horn.
And Anthony Mundine. They're going to have a fight. Anthony Mundine was another sports player, but now he's moved into boxing.
He's in NRL, but way back, way back. I don't know his history, but he did play NRL.
He is an Aboriginal person. And he has some thoughts on the national anthem of Australia. And he's proposing an action that he will take at this fight, an upcoming fight that in between Jeff Horn and himself, that if the national anthem is going to be played, that he won't participate, he won't stand up and acknowledge the national anthem. In a similar act that, what is it? Is it NRL? No, what?
NFL players take a knee when the American national anthem is played.
That's correct, yeah, because there's concerns there with whether it's something that should be respected or something that people should be proud of.
It's along the same vein.
So here, I'll just show you this page, which is... Alright, here, so we got this news article from news.com.au. I'll just read a little bit of it briefly. Anthony Mundine says he won't stand for the national anthem if it's played before his fight against Jeff Horn next month, as he credited the Queensland native's white privilege for his rising popularity. We've already spoken a lot about white privilege. However, he says further down that they're talking about playing the anthem. If they play the anthem, I'm sitting down, Mundine said. I can't stand for that. It's a white supremacist song. And so it's a little bit of a
it's a squirrely one.
To speak about. And it's an interesting opinion, which I think is a similar, very similar thing to what occurs with the NFL players as well. That there is a bit of a historical concern with being proud of singing the national anthem, whether we can be proud of historical actions. So I'll just bring up the Australian national anthem, and maybe we can decide together whether it would be a white supremacist song.
Yeah, let's decipher it. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
We'll go line for line.
Yeah. So this is the. I'll read the paragraph on the left side. You read the one on the right.
Okay, go.
Okay. So this is the Australian national anthem, which is "Advance Australia Fair." It was enacted in 1984. So it says, "Australians all, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair."
Beneath our radiant Southern Cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make. Sorry, is this a different?
No, this is
still the same.
This is the song, but we normally don't sing the second verse.
We don't sing the second verse?
No, it's
okay.
I don't know, it takes too long at school or something like that, so they don't bother with it. I'm not sure.
Right,
yeah.
To make this Commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands, for those who've come across the seas with boundless plains to share. With courage, let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, let us sing, advance Australia fair. Sorry, I butchered that, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, how do you think that Anthony Mundine might be proposing that this is a white supremacist song?
I'm reading this right now. What's girt mean anyway? No one's ever known what girt means.
Being like surrounded by. So.
Oh, surrounded by sea. Girt
yeah.
by sea.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, let us. Okay, Australians all let us rejoice. Okay, we can all rejoice, right? For we are young and free. We're all young and we all should be free. Maybe
it's a young country.
It's a young country,
yeah.
And we should be free, which we are a free country.
I'd consider it. Yeah, mostly free. Yeah.
We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Wealth for toil. Don't even know what's that mean.
I think when they say wealth for toil, as in, if we work hard, we can generate wealth for ourselves.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. That's not white supremacy. Our land abounds in nature's gifts.
Yeah.
We can what we can all.
So there's lots of wealth to be gained, just being found in the land of Australia, as in. There's lots of gold in the earth, and there's aluminium ore, and lots of things that we can take out of the land. Yeah,
that's fair. That's not.
There's lots of just gifts that are here. Yeah,
very true. Yeah. Very true. Nature's gifts. We're all like Mother Earth's children, right? Of beauty rich and rare. Of beauty rich. I think
we can acknowledge that Australia can be quite beautiful. Yeah, and it's been isolated for a very long time. Our continent, so we've developed differently to a lot of other continents, so we have exclusive. We've got marsupials which aren't found elsewhere.
Very true. We have like the most, infectious snakes. The most dangerous snakes. The wildlife is crazy here.
Yeah.
Okay. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In history's page,
So maybe historically there are some things that aren't fair.
Advance Australia fair.
I think maybe from now on, let's go forward being fair.
Yeah, because we're trying to advance. I'm trying to break this down now. I like the way of words, so I'm trying to break this down. Advance Australia fair. We should all advance together. That's what I'm getting from that. That's what I'm reading from that. In joyful strains, let us sing Advance Australia fair.
So let's happily sing
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's sing together, okay? Beneath our radiant Southern Cross, we're below the Southern Cross of stars. That makes sense. That's why everyone gets the tattoo, dickheads. Just kidding. Love you all. We'll toil with... Oh, God damn it. Why was my brain... We'll toil with hearts and hands to make this Commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands. Okay, we'll make us renowned. We'll be, well known for being a fair country. This is only positive from what I'm getting from this. For those who've come across the seas with boundless plains to share. That makes sense. People who come across...
There's lots of room in Australia.
Dude, there's so much room in Australia, bro. With courage, let us all combine to advance Australia fair. To advance us in joyful strains, let us sing Advance Australia Fair.
Okay, I'll bring up the things which I think might be a bit difficult. Oh, in fact, I'll bring the lyrics back up just so we can go all together.
Oh, well, we on page. Oh, damn it. That's going to get me looking like a dickhead trying to read.
Okay, so I think here a lot of the words chosen here in this song are personal pronouns. So we're talking about we've, for we, our home, our land. We've got our radiant Southern Cross, we'll toil, our Commonwealth, or this Commonwealth. We've boundless plains. I think here there's a lot of ownership. And so the lyrics of this song, they were written by a white guy, right? And the Commonwealth.
That's deep into it, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's deep to read into that.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
it's cool.
And this was actually written before the Federation of Australia, so before 1901. It was written in maybe I think 1864. I could be wrong.
Sorry.
Yeah, I could be wrong with that. So this is before any sort of recognition of the Australian or the Aboriginal people as being the traditional owners or people who possess this land, and so before it was taken. I think that's fair to say.
We realise that,
and so here we can say that the land was taken from people who were here before. We acknowledging that they are people; they're not less than human. Yep. And so now, after that's happened, we're saying our home. Yeah, our land, this Commonwealth of ours. Yeah,
I see that.
Yeah,
I definitely see that.
I don't know whether this is anything to do with white supremacy, but I understand that it wasn't ours to take, and I don't want to say ours as in because I'm white, I'm part of this. But I do understand that there is animosity towards these actions and I don't agree that it should ever have happened. That I don't think the land should have been taken. Maybe in the time that it occurred, that it was a common thing that all these colonies, or rather all these empires, were reaching out, exploring the world, trying to find new land, get more riches for their own empires. I don't know whether a white Australian of today should feel any responsibility for that occurring because they can't control it. It's a historical action. And so whether this song is a white supremacist song, I don't think so. Also, I'm not comfortable with it occurring anyway. Like
the song, you mean?
With the creation of Australia. I'm not really happy that it happened. Because I don't think it's just. But I also I don't agree with what Anthony said, that it's a white supremacist song. But I do agree that maybe we shouldn't celebrate it in the manner that it's being written here. As in, now that it's happened, that and it's written by a white guy, we own this land. This is our Southern Cross. Yeah.
I really would love to get the dude who wrote this song.
Yeah. I think here we go. Peter McCormick. I think
Peter McCormick. Yeah, it's a white man's name.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I'll just scroll up.
Oh, there he is.
There he's on the right hand side. Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
It was written. When was it written? 1878. So I was wrong. Not 1864. It's 1878.
1878.
So well before Australia was federated. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I don't see...
It's not a white supremacist song, no?
I don't feel like it's a white supremacist song at all. I think that maybe it's an overreaction, but he feels oppressed and like he's got a platform to speak out to the Aboriginal community. Dude, AB Originals are alright, like the rap group.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got a platform to speak out, and they're like lately in the past history, they're all coming out. Like a lot of Aboriginal, they can dance, and like they got so much expression, and they're doing really great things, right? This, I definitely think it's backwards to say it's a white supremacy song, because because he is a white man, like I've genuinely got from reading that, and I've never read that second verse.
No,
that's why I struggled with it. I'm like, I'm trying to, sing it in my head. I'm like, hang on, we never sing.
No, we're not familiar with it. No.
I wasn't familiar. I didn't even know that existed.
Same with the American national anthem.
Is there more to that as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm not familiar too much with the American, but I can speak on the Australian. We've been singing that for ages. Like, they do the national anthem before the AFL Grand Final, which is like 100,000 people. Everyone stands for it. Whether it doesn't matter whether you're Aboriginal or not. Like that, I think it's welcoming everyone. You know what I mean? It's in 18. Like, how much? I don't know, was there slavery back then? They had Aboriginal slaves?
Yeah.
Well, then maybe it needs to change. Maybe the song... But that's one man. Is that all Aboriginal? Because, Mundine is saying this. I don't know, is the outcry of more Aboriginals asking to change it?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's something we should research. Maybe we can come back to this next week.
Yeah.
When we learn a bit about the opinions of more Aboriginals, whether they feel the same way as Anthony. I think that most people aren't comfortable with what happened with the taking of the land and the genocide and enslavement.
100%. That's wrong.
Undoubted, there was sex slaves and like there was a lot of crap and a lot of things that weren't reported. Yeah. However, what do we do about it now? We can't. Maybe we can, but I don't know how we would. We can't just leave the land. We can't just say, "All right, here's your land back," because we have no ties to it. Yeah, where do we go now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't just say, "Oh, we'll just all kill ourselves and you can have land back." Like, what can we do?
We can do what we did before, man. We can teach and we can grow and we can have white kids and Aboriginal kids and black kids and Asian kids and that's just general, like, what I'm coming up with. But everyone, Indians, everyone, we can all come together but I feel like you could read into that. You could read into any song.
Yeah,
you could read into any song in the world and say, nah, white supremacy, or I don't know, black supremacy. I don't think that's real, but you could read into any song and find negative into it. Even in the most positive song, I reckon you could read into it and you can find out, oh, okay, he said, we, like, that was deep, you know what I mean? We've and ours and all these pronouns and that. Like, that's deep into it. But we can, for me, we can only educate. We should do more, like a little bit next week or whatever. Just rehash this
to find out the opinion of other people. Yeah.
But in my opinion, right now, I only feel positive for that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that who I am? I don't. You know what I mean?
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I think it's an okay song. I don't think that a modern Australian should feel any remorse or problem with it now, but I also think that there should be greater representation of Aboriginal people in our societies, in our government. There's been a push recently for a permanent member to sit in the parliament and speak for the Aboriginal people.
Of course.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So, yeah, I think a lot of Australians agree with that. And I think it was denied recently.
Again, that's wrong. Right?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That's not fair.
Yeah, and that kind of is, I don't know, it's not a white supremacy thing, but it's definitely a sidelining thing, as in ignoring things that have happened in the past, ignoring that this land wasn't owned by the people who currently possess it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think they should. I think we should have... I don't see a problem with that at all.
Like someone representing
Aboriginal the Aboriginals, of course. Like they should have they shouldn't have their own separate government. They should be in a part of the white people's government. I think we should all, we should all come together. Of course they should sit in there and have their own opinion. Oh my God, all right. But it's like, all right, the white people are doing this, this and this. Oh, okay, and the Aboriginals. And then, all right, now, whatever his name is, whoever it is, what's your opinion? He's like, oh, okay, this was cool. And then break it down. And then, all right, we can do this for us, and this and this. Like, it's more complicated than I'm even trying, can comprehend.
I think maybe what's occurring isn't very democratic, as in, we're not treating people equally, in that there's not equal representation of the Aboriginal people currently. Maybe there should be.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Again, like, we should all be equal. That's what I reckon. I'll probably say that 1 billion times on this podcast.
Yeah.
We should all be equal, and there should be no hate. For the white supremacy song, it's nothing. We should have an Aboriginal in Parliament, not one, multiple.
And it wouldn't be, it shouldn't be rather a token thing, you know. Like,
it shouldn't. Yeah, right. Yeah,
like we feel like we must have it. Yeah, just to be inclusive. No, I think.
No, they should. You know, obviously they should work for it. I get. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, which white people have worked for it.
In a democratic way, I think most people here agree or are happy with the democratic society, as in, you get what you work for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how we operate
as
a society in the world.
Yeah,
you got to work for things, and that they do a lot of community work and all this sort of stuff. So if you have X amount of Aboriginals in Parliament, of course, then there probably is in like lower governments and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Lower
parties.
There's probably some representation. Yeah.
Yeah. So inject them in, man, and you know, and fucking remember watching like ABC. You know, like if you ever watch ABC, you know, and watching that Parliament shit as a kid, how boring it was and stuff. Like just question time. You know, just add some culture in, man. Add some culture in. More than happy with that. And yeah, if you have a white politician, awesome. If you have a black politician, awesome. If you have an Aboriginal politician, of course, get them in there. Yeah, we shouldn't be segregated. Because
it feels like there's a bit of segregation still.
We should,
because of that.
Exactly. We shouldn't fight racism with racism. That's just my view. You shouldn't fight racism with racism. You know what? You should fight racism with love and acceptance. And I sound like a mass hippie right now.
That's cool. Love it.
But facts, right?
Yeah.
For me, that's.
Yeah. I think that's what we can take out of it. We should revisit that next week and see what the consensus is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely see what we'll see what more people have to say. See if there was an outrage, you know, from what Mundine said or, you know, from the other side.
Yeah.
Because there's always two sides to every story.
Yeah, I know Jeff Horn's quite great. Jeff Horn's quite patriotic and he's pro.
True, we haven't even talked about Jeff Horn.
Yeah. Maybe we're being a little bit biased here, but Jeff is very supportive of the national anthem, and he said it's definitely going to be played at the fight, and he will stand up. And
and again,
I think maybe that's reasonable now, having spoken about it a little bit more. But there needs to be some understanding on Jeff's part for the actions of Anthony.
Definitely. And they're going to... Man, I say the word definitely a lot,
We'll work on it.
We'll work on it. We're going to... They're fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw Conor and Khabib, but Conor was ripping on, like, Dagestan and Putin and you know what I mean? It was all a fight.
That's the nature of boxing and MMA and
it's
all these fights. Yeah, there's always these verbal conflicts.
It's kind of like you'll say what you want until you win. Do you know? In a fight, in a
it's mind games.
Mind games.
Yeah.
And whether this is mind games or actual national stuff,
I think it's a little bit bigger than mind games.
Obviously, definitely. I do think that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. 100%.
Yeah.
But the mind game, if it started as a mind game, then it's blown up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's deeper than that. It's definitely deeper than that.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that might conclude it. We're hour and 20 so far. So that's
hour and 20. Well, thanks for joining. Do we still?
Yeah, I think we've spoken on all the topics that we'd like to. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening once again. Yeah, cheers.
Boom.
All right, guys. We will see you next week at the same time, or rather, we probably won't see you, but we'll
hear from you. You'll see us.
Yeah.
Faces.
Yeah, 10 a.m. on Sundays, Australian Eastern Daylight Time.
Definitely. And let us know, obviously, man. Same again, comment.
Yep.
Do the classic like and the share if you want.
Yeah,
I
if you
guess.
have any suggestions, reach out to us. We've got an email address. You can find it on our YouTube channel. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, let us know if there's some bugs, like maybe if the audio's a bit off.
The audio might have been a little off last week.
Last week, there were some things that we heard. Yeah.
And we're a little delayed today.
We'll improve every week. We'll improve
every week, and we can only improve by people telling us, some feedback and stuff as well.
So please reach out.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for listening. Yeah, cheers. Namaste.
Namaste.
All right. See y'all later.